Coin on.
Hello YouTube, this is Robert with CoinOp. Today we're going to do the year 1959 and we're going to review some of the happenings that happened back then. Now before we get started, don't forget, in February the 15th at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be opening this roll of 1936 Lincoln Cent. It's an original bank wrap roll, and we find 20 or more of the FS 101, 102, or 103s, or any combination of the above. I will give one of those our double dice away. Now that's a value anywhere from $800 to about $45,000. So make certain that you subscribe, hit the bell, and that way there you will be notified when we do go live. Now you might want to watch this video all the way to the end, because I'm going to explain a few things in there that I got some small clips from the Mint that'll help explain about one of the varieties that we're going to look at. So okay, let's take a look at the year in review 1959 and look at a few varieties. In 1959, an ounce of gold would have cost you $35.10. A half of a gallon of milk at that time was 51 cents. Now that was delivered. A dozen eggs would have cost you about 53 cents per dozen. And if you got a 20-ounce loaf of bread, it was between 20 and 29 cents per loaf. At the gas pump, a gallon of gas would have cost you between 29 and 34 cents per gallon. An automobile back in 1959 would have cost you anywhere from $1,561 to $3,500. A home back in 1959 was about $11,900, and they could go upwards of $26,700. Now it all depends on where you lived and the model you had. In March of 1959, President Eisenhower signed into law legislation enabling Hawaii to become the 50th state. A general plebiscite was held on June 27th, offering the voters a choice between becoming a state or not. The vote was overwhelmingly accepted, and they became the 50th state on August 21st, 1959. On October 2nd, CBS introduced the TV show The Twilight Zone. Now it lasted for 5 seasons, and it was created by Rod Sterling. He was the executive producer. He was the head writer or co-writer of 92 of the 156 episodes. The series featured both established stars and some new up-and-coming actors like Ron Howard, William Shatner, and Robert Redford. I'm certain you recognize many, if not all, of these actors. Now, what may not have made the news is on July the 6th, 1959, my sister Tammy was born. This is a picture of me and her out in the yards. And as usual back then, when I was that young, well, I sort of had a hard time keeping my clothes on. And now let's go look at a few varieties on coins that happened throughout the year 1959. The first variety we're going to look at is the Lincoln Cent 1959 Denver RPM number 1. RPM stands for Repunched Mint Mark. It's also in the Cherry Picker's Guide as FS 501. Now in MS63 red, they sell for $40, and in MS66 red, they go for $150 per coin. The next coin we're going to look at is the FS 102. Now this is a nice double die obverse, and you can see the doubling on Liberty the best. It don't show up so much on the date. However, for this example, a Mint State 63 red is also $40. However, you get to a MS66 red and they go for a nice handsome $850. Now, this last one I'm going to take and show you is a very controversial mule error for 1959 Denver. It starts in 1986 when a retired police officer named Leon Baller announced that he had bought a 1959 D Lincoln Cent with the wheat reverse design. Now, this is considered a mule error. Now, he claimed that he had purchased the coin for $1,500. And in 1987, he sent the coin to the United States Department of Treasury. An agent, Richard M. McDrew, responded to the letter along with his coin, stating that the enclosed was United States coin and that it did have, in fact, a wheat reverse. What he didn't tell him is that he was a currency expert and not a coin expert. The following year, he took and he submitted the coin to different grading companies, including PCGS. They would not take and they would not grade it or deem that it was authentic. They said that they felt it was from spark erosion. Well, years later, Baller sold the coin to Heritage Auction for an undisclosed amount of money. And in return, Heritage had sold it to another collector, who took and returned it to the Treasury Department in 2002. Now, for the second time, the Treasury Department returned the coin, and they said that they could find no evidence that the coin was counterfeit. The coin became available at a Goldberg auction in September of 2002. However, they pulled the auction because a convicted forger, Mark Hoffman, claimed that he had produced the piece using spark erosion. Here I'm showing you a feeder from the press. You can see it would be very difficult for exactly one example without any others to be produced. I'm going to stay right there along with a lot of the others, and I find it very suspicious. Normally, for myself, if I take and find a new discovery, I don't submit it until I find at least a second example. And I've held on to coins for upwards of 15 years before I take and submit it to have it examined and possibly attributed as a new example. So, all I can say is, unless there's another example that does come to light somewhere down the road, maybe right now a lot of people are not looking at the 1959 D and turning it over to see if it's a mule error or not. I would suggest keep looking. If you find a second one, that would deem all of them to be authentic, and that would take the price of this thing and just shoot it straight up. Now, the last one that was sold was listed for $31,050. However, it was marketed as it cannot be returned. So, who knows for sure if this is a true mule or if it was, in fact, spark erosion and made by Mark Hoffman. All I can say is grab you a few rolls, start looking. Maybe you'll be the next one to find the newest discovery of this mule error. And there you have it. That is my view of a year in review 1959. Now, don't forget, folks, the 1959 D mule error, I'm a firm believer if there was a second or third example found, the price of those things would skyrocket over to $100,000+ per coin. So, if I was you, I'd get busy and I'd be searching rolls. And don't forget, February 15th, Monday at 8 o'clock p.m., we will be searching this roll of 1936 Lincoln Cent double dies. There will be prizes and giveaways for that. So make certain that you subscribe, hit the bell so you are notified whenever we take and go live. And we have auctions every Wednesday at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will be having an auction tonight at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every other Friday we also taking, well, we just have auctions every Wednesday and Friday. Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget that. So, we hope you did like the video, and we hope you subscribe. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend, and as I always like to say, folks, happy hunting.